Dear Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology of Republic of Turkey, Mr. Fatih Kacer, dear Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Turkey, Ambassador Mr. Faruk Kaymakçı, dear Minister Counselor from European Commission, Ms. Eleftheria Pertsinitiu, dear Deputy Director General for Research and Innovation from European Commission, Ms. Signe Ratso, dear TÜBİTAK President, Ms. Hasan Mandal, or distinguished guests, speakers and participants. Good morning and thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. This event will provide an opportunity for you to be well informed about Horizon 2020 Green Deal Call and to find right partner and build up your consortia. As it's known that European Green Deal Call under Horizon 2020 is an initiative that aims the EU's transition to carbon-free economy by 2050, and it will be open until January 2021. In today's agenda, the event will start with our valuable speakers. Then it will continue with thematic workshops and networking sessions. On behalf of TÜBİTAK, it's an honor for us today to host this event, and I am privileged to present you our distinguished speakers. First, I would like to invite TÜBİTAK President, Professor Hasan Mandal, for his welcoming speech. Professor Mandal, I want to give the stage to you. Thank you.
So thank you. So good morning. So dear Honorable Deputy Minister Mehmet Fatih Kacer, dear Deputy Minister of the Foreign Affairs and Director of EU Affairs, Ambassador Faruk Kaymakçı, dear Minister Counselor Eleftheria Pertsinitiu, dear Deputy Director General Signe Ratso, and distinguished guests, dear speakers, it's a pleasure to have great everyone today in this Horizon 2020 Green Deal International Networking event. We have the honor to open this event where researchers are coming together to establish their contributions for the Horizon 2020 Green Deal Call. I would now like to share my short presentation, which is entitled Co-Creation and Succeeding Together in the European Green Deal Calls. So I'm going to share, okay. Okay, so I think it's visible. So I entitled this short presentation during these opening speeches, so co-creation and succeeding together. So I think this is a kind of a motto, not only for Green Deal Call, and also I think it's for when we are moving to Horizon Europe. So when we look for what is the changes or transformation in R&D and innovation processes, and especially when we are dealing with the, in our ecosystem, in terms of the type of challenges which we are coming across, the type of systematic challenge-driven, moving from more technological to more systematic challenge-driven innovation. So such as, when we are dealing with this COVID-19, so it is a kind of a challenge more, it needs to be, deal with not only from the technological aspect, it's including to all type of disciplines. And also the Green Deal is in the same respect. So in that part, so this Green Deal perspective is moving more from more individual to the more collaborative, and especially for interdisciplinary type of innovation. And this also needs to be more in an ecosystem of more than the collaboration, it needs to be more co-creation. And in Turkey, what we are trying to do, especially in starting from year 2018, it is changing our funding mechanisms, and changing our ecosystem. It's more from more input-oriented type of funding mechanism to more impact-oriented, and impact in a sense of economical impact, social impact, and national security impact. And when we are dealing and when we are checking the Green Deal Call, so it is a kind of a issue. It is in one side, maybe for more economical part, but at the meantime, we are also dealing with the social and the welfare type of impact. And in that respect, the type of knowledge creation and also type of the human resources development, it is one of the important parameter, and this could be can be manageable by co-creation. And in Turkey, what we are trying to do in this perspective, so moving to our system from more input to the more impact-oriented type of co-creation models for the ecosystem. So in dealing with, for example, when we are challenging with the COVID-19, so we have been formed with COVID-19 Turkey platform, and within this 49 institutions from including the universities, industry, and the state research agencies, together with the 436 researchers from bachelor, including from bachelor students to the professors, from engineers to the researchers, they have all come together to deal with the vaccine and drug development. So this is a kind of way which we think that can be only manageable, especially the pandemic period. So again, we see in the same respect, so the Green Deal type of approach, the type of challenge can be also manageable. There's a kind of a co-creation type of new knowledge creation methods. And also in the same respect, when we are dealing with human resources development, is in the same aspect. And regarding to the performance of Turkey in Horizon 2020, so till now we have been, more than 7,000 applications during the period of from this 7 year. Still, continue, and we are hoping that more will be in Green Deal. And the funded project is 734. Nearly the success rate is just above the 10%. Of course, there is a room for improvement. So we see a great potential for today to meeting with our researchers from Turkey, including from Europe and beyond. And more than 1,000 Turkish researchers has been included. One of the success which we have been named in our Horizon 2020 program, there are not enough, but at least that 17 projects which are coordinated by Turkish researchers in Horizon 2020, and especially our success has been increased during the last 2 years. And the reason which we have been seeing in this performance is especially when we are dealing the new knowledge creation techniques. And also in this perspective, so what is how it is in terms of the distribution? So 38% of our applications are coming from the companies, and which is including both large companies and also the SMEs, and there's also room for more improvement for SMEs. And later stage in the next one is on higher education institutes and continue afterwards. And one of our parameters, which how we are driving our researchers to be involved more Horizon programs. So there are different type of funding and incentive mechanisms. So to encourage our researchers to be involved in the European programs, Horizon 2020, and also this including the Green Deal. And there's a coordinator support program, travel support program, although there's a challenge at this moment because of the pandemic. And also we are inviting the researchers from the successful researchers to come in Turkey and share the experience. And also we have been recently started a support for the membership to the networks of the Turkish researchers, especially for the universities and SMEs. And we have been during especially during the last 2 years, we have been very successfully made 2 events. I am sure that some of you already been attended this meeting, and the one is in Istanbul in July 2019, and the one in Brussels in the same year, end of the November, exactly about a year ago. And in that meetings, you can see more than 1,000 and more than 800 bilateral meetings were performed, and the success of our performance in Turkish researchers in Horizon 2020 programs on the basis of these bilateral meetings. So therefore, we see a great importance of these events, brokerage events, and the meeting which we are having today, which also, although it is virtual, but still we are expecting the same kind of performance. And when we are looking for the, what is next? So what is next is the Horizon Europe. And in the case of the Horizon Europe, when we have been tackling with the challenges again, so we need a systematical challenges. So we need co-creation is one of the solution in terms of how we will be overcome, and also the new knowledge, creation methods, and also development of the human resources become more important. So in maybe summary, in Turkish ecosystem, which is more aligned with the Horizon programs, and especially when we are moving to Horizon Europe, we are our national funding mechanism, which we see that there's a room for potential since there's a more alignment with the systems. And regarding the Green Deal, so from the early stage when the European Commission has been announced. So since then, especially in the summertime, we have been made different type of virtual meetings. Since for today, reaching today, there are 16 different events were performed. This including info days with industry associations, and also info days with ecosystem institutions, especially with municipality associations, and also various training events and workshops. And we have been reached for today. And our, type of an impact which we are expecting for Green Deal Call. So zero emissions greenhouse gases by 2050, and also economical growth is decoupled from the resource use, and no person and no place is left behind. So this is a kind of an impact which we are expecting from this call. And also when we are check for the, what type of 2050, okay, maybe it's the kind of a year is another maybe 30 years is in upcoming years, but also we are taking also in consideration of the nearest agenda of European Commission 2030. So maybe 2050 is 30 years in ahead. But in 10 years' time, 55% decrease in the emissions. And while at the meantime, GDP is increasing. So this is a real challenging issue. And this only become together by means of the co-creation type of collaboration. And also this Green Deal also is overlapping with the other documents of the Commission, and especially for the energy system integration. So it is considering the all type of parameters and how the a document was published in July 8, 2020. So it is Green Deal is really again is a complementary of the dealing with the energy issue as well. And for today, we have been divided in 4 workshops. Energy and transport, climate change, the food and zero pollution environment, and research infrastructures, and social sciences and humanities type of issues. So these are the, in right hand side, you can see the 20 Green Deal calls. So in here is already been opened the calls in September time. So all the type of topics which we are trying to bring to our participants in here with the relevant topics with the relevant calls. So today it's a great interest. So nearly 900 participants has been registered. 2/3 from Turkey and 1/3 from EU and beyond. So there is so it's a good representation from around the globe. And our aim for today, when we are bringing the one-to-one meetings, especially, so we have been dealing with an impact. So it's not only the title of the call, but also what is this impact within this title. So this is, I think, a critical importance in terms of to getting the success. And in terms of the also distribution, so you can see from participants from companies and the good interest from companies, from universities, from R&D institutions and the state agencies, startups, and from all type of partners and stakeholders of the ecosystem. And within during the day, there will be, as I said, 4 workshops will be discussed on 20 calls, and 856 participants will be involved, and from the 42 countries. And there will be, good to say that there will be 600 meetings will be, one-to-one meetings will be held today. So thank you very much for all your interest to attending this meeting. And finally, you can see in this picture, so how we will achieve, so from Turkey, and also including, of course, mainly from Europe, but not limited, so from US, from Latin America, from Asia, and also including Africa. So once more, from the, I mean, as a president of the TÜBİTAK, Turkish Scientific and Technological Research Council. So it's a great welcome and also very successful event for today. Thank you very much.
We thank Professor Mandal for his presentation, including key points in Turkish research and innovation ecosystem. Now I would like to invite Ms. Signe Ratso, Deputy Director General for Research and Innovation of European Commission. Ms. Ratso, floor is yours.
Dear Deputy Ministers, Ambassador, Professor Mandal, it's my great pleasure to participate in this event, which is dedicated exclusively to the European Green Deal Call. This call has already generated a very strong interest in the research and business communities in EU member states, associated countries, as well as outside Europe, which is very welcome. And I'm really happy that Turkey is joining the efforts in highlighting the importance of this call. I can see that we already have more than 400 participants. And as Professor Mandal said, that you expect twice as many to participate during the workshops. Since the start of this Commission's mandate, the European Green Deal has been a Commission's #1 priority, encompassing a very ambitious agenda of transitions across all key sectors of the economy and society towards a climate-neutral Europe by 2050. This was also confirmed in the response of the European Union to the COVID-19 pandemic. The EU placed the European Green Deal at the center of its recovery strategy, confirming the emphasis on green and digital transitions. What I want to emphasize is that research and innovation is central for the success of the European Green Deal. The importance of research and innovation lies not only in the fact that the development of new technologies, sustainable solutions, and disruptive innovation is critical in achieving the objectives of the Green Deal, but also because research and innovation is a key enabler that can drive, navigate, and accelerate the transformative Green Deal agenda. That is science, knowledge, and evidence which provide the compass for charting the path towards more resilient economies and societies. Turkey, as a long-term participant in the EU's framework programs for research and innovation, is always actively engaged in joint science efforts. Today's event underlines our excellent cooperation in this field, and together we address global challenges such as COVID-19 and climate change. I'm particularly pleased to see that Turkey's participation in Horizon 2020 has substantially increased last year. This is a concrete achievement of the joint action plan that Professor Mandal, Minister Varank, and Director General Paquet agreed to embark on last year. And it clearly underlines our joint ability and commitment to cooperate on research and innovation. Now, coming back to the Green Deal Call, we've decided to create and launch it already now, even before the start of Horizon Europe, as an immediate response to the pressing need to confront the climate crisis and provide greater protection for the continent's unique environment and biodiversity. Professor Mondal already showed the structure of the call, and it's structured in such a way that it really explicitly underlines and reflects the priorities of the European Green Deal. Climate, energy, clean industry, circular economy, buildings, clean mobility, farm to fork, biodiversity, zero pollution and toxic-free environment. All these actions have a potential to have a clear impact. And I'm really glad that the impact-driven research is also underlined in Turkey. And they have the potential to have a clear impact already short term, because they support the development of our ideas into pilot applications, demonstration projects, innovative products, experiments and approaches, which are able to show their value in practice and have the possibility for further scale up. Then there are two areas, horizontal areas, which complement these, namely strengthening knowledge and empowering citizens. And these two offer a longer term perspective, namely in support of the transformations. Because really in the European Green Deal, we need the transformations. And on the one hand, they strengthen our knowledge capacity, which will lead to experimentation and social innovation, but they also foresee new ways how to engage with civil society and how to empower the consumers. Because without the citizens, the green digital transformation simply won't happen. And the reasons for that are because the challenges that we face today are not merely of technical nature, but they also require profound adaptations in lifestyles, in behavior of the people, and also to ensure that no one will be left behind in the course of the transitions. And clearly, societal changes can only be succeeded if the society is also on board. I want to stress, of course, that research and innovation efforts of the European Commission in support of the European Green Deal are not only limited to this Green Deal call. Our next framework program, Horizon Europe, for the next 7 years, also supported by the European Innovation Council, will incite a new wave of research and innovation in key sectors supporting European Green Deal. The program should allocate at least 35% to its funds to support the achievement of the climate goals, with a dedicated climate, energy, mobility clusters. And also with the clusters like food, bioeconomy, natural resources, industry and digital, all will significantly contribute to climate action. Last but not least, I'd like particularly to highlight the missions, Horizon missions, the thematic focus of our program. Because 4 out of the 5 missions are also related to the European Green Deal. These are the ocean missions, then climate neutral and smart cities, which is one of the key areas also for Turkey, as I know, then soil health and food, but also and notably adaptation to climate change. With this, I'd like to close my intervention this morning. And I'd really like to wish you successful brokerage event and also successful participation in this call through interesting and competitive proposals. Thank you very much.
We thank Deputy DG Ms. Signe Ratso for her speech. Especially, I want to thank her about emphasizing a significant increase of Turkish participation in Horizon 2020 in last year. We have worked closely with her team and thanks again their huge support. Now our plenary session continues with Ms. Eleftheria Pertsinitiu, Minister Counselor from EU delegation to Turkey. Ms. Pertsinitiu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to be with you today in an event that marks this long-standing and strong cooperation between the research and innovation communities of EU member states, associated countries, and other EU partner countries. The previous speakers, Professor Mandal and the Deputy Director General of the European Commission, Ms. Ratso, they covered almost everything. So it's very difficult for me to innovate, but I will try to highlight some points of my presentation. It is obvious, as we heard also from the previous speakers, that we share many goals and priorities when it comes to research and innovation. We share a common vision for turning climate and environmental related challenges into opportunities through research and innovation. And for us in the European Union, the European Green Deal is now our roadmap, as we heard, to boost the efficient use of resources by moving to a clean and circular economy, restore biodiversity, and cut pollution. I will not speak more about the European Green Deal. We heard a lot about it from Professor Mandal and also from the Deputy Director General of the Commission. So just a few words on the COVID-19 crisis. The COVID-19 crisis added another layer of challenges to the ones we already face, but it didn't change our conviction about the importance and necessity to go ahead with a Green Deal. Both the crisis and the ambitious targets of the Green Deal demonstrate that innovation, technology, and cooperation will be key for responding to the crisis, recover the economy, and sustain the growth. I would like to say a few words about EU-Turkey cooperation in this area. Acceleration of the transition towards green growth, we know that will require strong strategic international cooperation that already exists and needs to be strengthened. And there is a long-standing and strong cooperation between Turkey and Europe in this field. We all know that since 2002, Turkey has been participating as an associated country to the EU framework programs in the field of research and innovation, and currently in Horizon 2020. And this participation has been a key element in the alignment of Turkey's research area to the European research area. And in this regard, I would like to highlight the role of TÜBİTAK, that is not only the national coordinator institute for Horizon 2020 in Turkey, but also our major partner in major projects co-founded by the European Union. I would like to mention specifically Turkey in Horizon 2020 project as a concrete outcome of our common efforts, mutual efforts in this regard, and highlight this project as it aims to raise awareness for Turkish SMEs, research and industrial communities on Horizon 2020 and later on Horizon Europe, as we also heard from Professor Mandal before. Turkey has developed action plans in order to boost the national research and innovation capacity and the cooperation with the European research area. And we really believe and trust that these plans will lead to a tangible impact on Turkey's participation in Horizon 2020 and its successor, Horizon Europe. And it's really looking very promising given the performance in 2019 with a commendable increase from previous years. And as the EU delegation to Turkey, we're ready and eager to continue this cooperation with TÜBİTAK. Just a few words before I conclude on the Horizon 2020 Green Deal Call. We heard from previous speakers that it offers an opportunity to increase collaboration between business and research communities among the entire globe. We have a great deal of participants today on that call, we believe that this day could be very important in strengthening cooperation. And I would like just to mention that the next Union program, the Horizon Europe, will have a budget close to 100 billion euros and will continue the support to the Green Deal objectives, ensuring sustainable growth and tackling climate and environmental related challenges. And to conclude, I would like to underline that science, research, green growth, and climate change will remain as key European priorities for the future. And here in Turkey, we will continue to support the international cooperation in science, technology, and innovation activities, implementation of Horizon 2020 and its successor Horizon Europe. I sincerely hope, on behalf of the EU delegation to Turkey, that this event will serve as an excellent platform to expand existing networks, to create new partnerships and efficient cooperation for projects with tangible, visible, and sustainable results. And allow me to extend as a last word our sincere gratitude and thanks to all our counterparts for the fruitful cooperation and collaboration we're having so far, and particularly to TÜBİTAK, and also for organizing this event. Thank you very much for your attention. Teşekkürler.
We thank Ms. Persenetio for her speech. She pointed out TÜBİTAK's role in EU-Turkey relations and implies that our joint action plan contributes to the success of Turkish researchers in Horizon 2020, especially in last year. Now I would like to give the stage for his speech to our distinguished speaker, Ambassador Faruk Kaymakçı, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey. Mr. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Çok teşekkürler Mete Bey. Thank you very much. Good morning everyone from Ankara. I am happy and delighted to be among you. Dear Deputy Minister Kaçır, dear Professor Mandal, dear Ms. Ratso from Brussels, and dear Eleftheria from Ankara, and dear participants from Turkey, from the rest of Europe and beyond. It is really a good opportunity for all of us to come together. As Eleftheria mentioned, it is difficult to be third or fourth speaker since your speech is already preempted. But as the Director for EU Affairs and also as the Deputy Foreign Minister of Turkey, I will not go in technicalities, but I will maybe say a few words, on our cooperation and on how we see things in Turkey from the perspective of the Directorate for EU Affairs. As it is already mentioned, we had some tough time in 2016 after the heinous FETÖ coup attempt, which really disrupted our cooperation. But especially in the last 2 years, thanks to the tremendous efforts of TÜBİTAK and his team, and as well as I think the mutual understanding from the European Commission, we made a lot of progress. I think 2019, 2020, the participation in Horizon 2020 program, but also the return, from this program was really a good success. And I am really very optimistic that from 2021 on, I think Turkey will be even more active more engaged in Horizon Europe. So when I look at the number of participants who are following this meeting, I am also very optimistic. Right now, I see 425 participants, but this also clearly shows the huge interest that Turkey shows to this program. With Professor Mandal, we this year organized several events. We talked to the business community, we talked to the universities, we talked to trade chambers, we talked to the different associations, and it was really interesting. Many big companies as well as small companies, they ask a lot of questions, how they can participate and how they can find partners in the rest of Europe, and how they can focus on different issues and topics. And it was really very promising for us to see this. And of course, the future Europe is a digital Europe. The future Europe is also a green Europe that we are aiming. And of course, Turkey will be fully on board in these two major, I would say, strategies of the European Commission, already, announced in December last year. So we also made several presentations to different sectors in Turkey about the Green Deal Call. I will not again go into its details, but what I would like to underline is that there is a huge interest from Turkey. When I say Turkey, I mean not only the universities or research centers, but also the companies, the associations, even students, even schools. Yesterday, I was talking to Turkey's education counselors abroad, and I wanted to explain to them what Erasmus is and what the European Solidarity Program, is. But they asked me more questions about Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe. So I will kindly ask Professor Mandal to organize another event with maybe schools, because I think this really triggers innovation and creativity also in the schools. Eleftheria mentioned COVID-19. I think COVID-19 also brought Turkey and the EU closer to work together, but also I think it encourages both Turkey and other partners to work on the vaccine and maybe to work on the preventive measures in the future. So, in brief, I would like to say that Erasmus is one program, but Horizon 2020 is the biggest and most important program that we are in, and hopefully we want to be also in the next period, 21-27 financial framework. We want to join all the programs that we have been in so far, and of course we have established a mechanism in Turkey which oversees all the EU programs that Turkey participates or Turkey would like to participate. Next week we are going to have another coordination meeting of the board of EU programs, and I know that there is a huge interest for Horizon 2020, and let me also finish with one keyword. Of course, the EU directorate, will be ready to work with the European Commission, with TÜBİTAK, with the Ministry of Industry in Turkey, and also with all the stakeholders who might be interested in joining different programs and in having partnerships with the Turkish sides. And we will be at their disposal for any difficulty or for any question that they may face in developing projects and in implementing these projects or in creating partnerships. And also abroad, I would like to mention to possible partners in abroad. I mean, Turkish embassies, Turkish diplomatic missions will also be at your disposal should you need any help to develop some joint projects with Turkish universities, research centers, or companies, because we also had a meeting with the Turkish diplomatic missions, and they are also following closely, Horizon Europe. So Turkey is Europe. Our horizon is Europe and EU, and we hope that through our active participation and through concrete results in Horizon Europe, our accession process towards the EU will also advance. So I will stop here, and I would like to thank you for the organization of this event, to the European Commission and to TÜBİTAK, and I think this is also a very useful event to bring all sides together. Thank you very much.
We thank our Deputy Minister for his speech. He mentioned about our especially national events and activities about Green Deal. I want to thank him again because he and his team put a lot of effort for increasing Turkish researchers' interest and successes for Horizon 2020 and also Horizon Europe. Now I would like to invite our final speaker of plenary session, Mr. Mehmet Fatih Kacer, Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology of Republic of Turkey. Mr. Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Dear Deputy Minister, Mr. Ambassador Faruk Kaymakçı, dear Ms. Persinedo, Mrs. Ratso, Professor Mandal, distinguished guests, valuable representatives of European and Turkish research communities, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to our Breckenridge event. Horizon 2020 program is one of the most important indicators of our integration process with the EU and the development of our country's research and innovation ecosystem. I believe this event will contribute to the integration and cooperation of Turkish research area, TARAL, with European research area for fulfilling the European Green Deal objectives. Dear guests, Turkey has become the 13th largest economy according to purchasing power in the world, thanks to the economic progress recorded between 2002 and 2020. We work ceaselessly towards accomplishing our goal of transforming this country to become one of the top 10 economies in the world. Turkey has a relatively young and skilled labor force, and by making the best use of its geographical location, as well as its powerful industry, we are taking concrete steps for completing our structural transformation. We believe that research and technology are vital to create a prosperous Turkey. Having more than 172,000 R&D personnel, 1,600 R&D and design centers, 85 technoparks, Turkey's powerful infrastructure and human resource capacity has reached the point of being a major player in both regional and global scales. And let me share with you some very recent news. During our meeting here, the Turkish Statistical Institute announced this morning the R&D activity survey of 2019, and the gross domestic expenditure on R&D in GDP increased from 1.03 to 1.06% in 2019, and the total number of our full-time equivalent R&D personnel increased from 172,000 to 182,847 in 2019, and it shows very clearly that all increases in all dimensions about R&D and innovation are continuing in Turkey. And more than 36,000 R&D projects have been completed by the companies operating in technoparks, and there are currently more than 10,000 ongoing R&D projects. And despite the negative effects of COVID-19 pandemic, manufacturing industry of Turkey has been thriving in August. Turkey ranked first among OECD countries and second in the world in terms of the increase in industrial production index. Dear participants, while we attach great importance to development our industry and technology, we are aware that economic, social, and environmental dimensions of our development should be tackled together. Climate crisis is global. Everyone's actions and decisions affect others in some way. We know EU has very ambitious targets to tackle this problem, and the European Green Deal shows also how decisive it is. European Green Deal will bring comprehensive change within the scope of EU's policies on industry, transportation, agriculture, and many other major areas. Since European Union is the most important trade partner of our country, we aim to make our industry sector less affected by the foreseen regulations within the framework of the European Green Deal. We also continue to work with all relevant stakeholders of this sector in order to benefit from the advantages in competitiveness brought by the Green Deal. Therefore, the strategies and policies that our country is currently implementing are highly compatible with the content and objectives of the European Green Deal. Competitive production and efficiency are at the core of the 11th development plan of our country. Again, in our 2023 Industry and Technology Strategy document, we have addressed many targets, especially regarding the green production approach. Our ministry is one of the key institutions that will lead the green transition in Turkey on account of both the transformation of industrial sectors and also development of technologies that will enable this transformation. Environment and Cleaner Production Institute of the TÜBİTAK develops knowledge and technology aiming to fulfill needs in environmental management, technology, and cleaner production. We support technology-intensive modernization of infrastructures and enterprises, especially in organized industrial zones and new investments based on cleaner production in order to reduce the environmental impact of industrial production. In the framework of developing Green Organized Industrial Zones project, we work with the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization and Organized Industrial Zones in order to promote industrial symbiosis areas. Dear participants, Turkey has been associated to EU framework programs since 2004. We have been steadily increasing our participation in Horizon 2020. As Professor Mandal mentioned, in the last 2 years of the program, Turkish stakeholders, successful projects and funding doubled in number. Industrial stakeholders have been more involved in projects as coordinators as well. We believe that 2020 calls will also be very promising for us and want to continue our success track in the Green Deal Call leading to Horizon Europe. Turkey also made use of its association in Horizon 2020 as an opportunity to strengthen its capacity building on research and innovation at national and international level. We have implemented various support and award mechanisms through TÜBİTAK, including travel and coordination support, and have launched new programs in 2020. We are aware that transformation of our industry to minimize emissions requires the adoption of new and clean technologies and a considerable extent of financing, especially for some sectors and SMEs. The Green Deal Call that launched in September within the scope of this program offers important opportunities for our researchers and entrepreneurs. We make a high-level effort to mobilize the private sector to encourage cooperation between Taral and European research area and to develop joint projects. We invite all interested parties once more to prepare projects on related issues under this agenda and make an application or to take part in projects by establishing partnerships in Europe. Esteemed participants, as we move towards Horizon Europe, I would like to express once again that we trust our most valuable representatives from industry, university, non-governmental organizations, and public institutions. You are our biggest capital in R&D and innovation. On this journey, we see the European Union and European Union programs as one of our most important stakeholders. We would like to continue our collaboration as an associated country under Horizon Europe, and we have already expressed our interest formally to the European Commission. As I finish my speech, I would like to thank European Commission and TÜBİTAK for their unprecedented support, for their valuable participation. I also would like to thank Deputy Minister Ambassador Faruk Kaymakçı for his continued support to us. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participants who are watching us in front of their computers from 36 different countries. I wish you all a productive and successful event. We are looking forward to see new international R&D and innovation partnerships. Thank you very much.
We thank dear Minister for concluding remarks. He implies the Turkish R&D capacity with numbers. He also mentioned about the significant increase in R&D investment in Turkey, especially starting from 2002. Once again, our special thanks to all our speakers for their valuable contributions and their time to participate in our event today. After 15 minutes short break, our event will continue with workshops. There are 4 workshop sessions, and each of them addresses specific areas in Green Deal. In each workshop, you will be informed directly by European Commission representatives on call topics. After the lunch break, the matchmaking session will start at 1:30 p.m. Central European Time. I would like to thank you all for your participation and wishing you a fruitful event. Thank you.